just wanted to tell you a story of what's happened to me in the last couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago, I was trying to read something, and I read on this cloud reader from my library on my phone, and I could not get any book to download. It was so frustrating. And finally, the only book I could get to download, because sometimes at night I'm like, I can't go to sleep until I read something, is this book by John Eldredge called Resilient. And so I'm reading this book, and it was very interesting. One of the things he talked about is that there are facts from the pandemic that we are still experiencing. And here's one of the quotes. Right now, we're in a sort of global denial about the actual cost of these hard years. We just want to get past it all. But folks, we haven't paid the psychological bill of all that we've been through. And that's a little condensation of what he wrote in the introduction. And it really got me to thinking. I was like, and I kind of stored it away. And then a couple of days later, I went to this really cool thing. My friend gave a workshop called Prayer and Movement. And in it, we were learning to express our prayer through sort of like big dance moves. And it was so meaningful. It was really good. It was very therapeutic. And one of the things she had us do is write down, what's really weighing heavily on us or what we're having trouble letting go of. And we had 10 minutes to journal this. And I was just really amazed as I thought about this, because there was I realized this big, huge ball of grief, something that's making me sad, emotions. I was like, wow, I did not realize that this big, huge ball was there, things I need to work through and let go. So it reminded me, I was like, man, it's like John Eldredge said. Now, my things weren't necessarily dealing with having to do with the pandemic, but that was part of it, that it affected some of the things that are bothering me. And so I started thinking, I do need to work on this, and just thinking about it, it's like, wow, I need to do something about this big ball of grief that's in me that I need to process. And I had a coaching session with somebody later that I was coaching them. And as I was talking to this person, one of the big things that came out from them was they said, I really need to start thinking more deeply. I believe the way they put it is I need to reflect more deeply. Because they could see all this year, they're just going from this thing to this thing and, not really giving themselves a chance to go deeper than the surface and really think about, because they're trying to make some, lifelong decisions in their life. And yet this person had not really gone there and done that deep reflecting. So I think it's so important for us to give space to do this deep reflecting. And that's what this person said, I've got to start creating space so I can do the deep reflection, because he realized he's got a very busy life. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And that's what I'm thinking for myself. And last Friday, but there again, I almost began to forget that this thing is going on under the surface that I had found out about. And I went out kayaking, my newest thing, and I said, no, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to make this kayaking happen. And I went out there, it was out in the middle of the small lake, just completely still. I mean, it's beautiful. It's just some way that, I can think better when I'm out there away from everything. And, then this that was in me started to come up again. And I was able to see it better, and I was able to identify more about what I can do about it and what's going on. And so I really think this is what God is teaching me right now. And I'm so thankful that he allowed me to see this, because I know that what's going on in here is holding me back. And so I'm really thankful that He is teaching me this and bringing all these things, orchestrating this together for me to be learning this. And I hope any of you that are watching that I can encourage you to do this too, to find space, make space for whatever is in there to come up. Maybe even ask yourself, what is weighing heavily on me right now? And give yourself that space for that to come up and for you to have ways to process it. So that's what I'm working on, and that's what God has shown me, and I am really grateful.